I screwed it up. Let's see. Oh, fuck, I forgot to run it.
Yeah, he's not doing so well.
Hey everybody, it's Brian at Two Indians and welcome to hot and steamy Central Florida. It's the middle of the summer and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna do this as fast as I can because I'm sweating my butt off out here. And I'm sporting my brand new Two Indians t-shirt. Check it out. Boom. So look, if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about dropping some big bucks and getting a 1/16 kit for your Indian. And you're also wondering, how much power am I gonna get? Are there any drawbacks or problems with the 1/16 kit? And of course the obvious, is it worth the money? Well, I'm gonna answer those questions and more in this video. So let's get started. Roll that intro. Hey, it's Brian and Barbara with Two Indians. So a few months ago, Barb and I were sitting around the house, and I think Barbara could sense I was feeling a little bit down, so she asked me,
Would you like me to rub your feet?
oh wait, not that clip.
You look down, honey. You should go get the big bore kit.
So I took my beautiful 2018 Indian Springfield to Indian of Seminole County, which is a magical place where very special things happen, as long as you can obviously pay for it. We set the plan in place to get a new set of handlebars, which were mini apes, which you can see a review in this video up here. And we also slipped in a new clutch and a clutch cable. And of course, I got what all men our age need, a boost in vitality. A 1/16 big bore kit. Woohoo! Now, I know all about the Lloyd's big bore kits and all the other outfits that are out there that make a slew of performance boosting enhancement, but call me old school. I like factory parts on my bike, especially when it comes to internal engine components. So for the sake of a little bit of warranty I have left and my sanity, please don't post a bunch of comments about how I should have gotten this done or that done instead. Okay, so I dropped her off at the dealer, and the tech, whose name is Ron, does all the big bore kits, and he really took his time making sure everything was perfect with the install. Installation montage. We are going back into the inner sanctum. All right, so I stopped by to check on the bike today, and Ron, our master mechanic, is not in. I guess he's gone out to lunch. We can see that he's got the head covers off. He's definitely making progress. I stopped by during the rebuild to check on things, and he asked me,
And do you want to hear a run?
yeah, hell yeah. Wow, that thing sounded like it had been transformed. Like when Steve Rogers went into that chamber and came back out as Captain America. Whoo! V-twin muscle, baby. I should probably get back in the gym. Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Your feet, try it like that. Anyway, I could just feel the power resonating and the sound of that big displacement, high compression beast. Don't forget, when you get the 1/16 kit, you're not just getting a bigger bore and pistons, you're getting higher compression pistons, beefier rods, larger throttle body, and a more aggressive cam than the Stage 2 cams. Once I got on the bike and rode her home, it was honestly a brand new machine. There's no mistaking the power upgrade on the 1/16. And let's be honest, the Stage 1 setup with exhaust and intake is pretty mild. I mean, when you first get on it, you're like, yeah, okay, I feel that, I think. And after a few days, you're really asking yourself, I don't know, is it really faster? I'm not sure. Then later, you break down and you get a Stage 2 kit. And that's like, wow, okay, now we're talking about power. And the Stage 2 kit, right? So like Stage 1 is like here in power upgrade. Stage 2 kit is like up here. You really feel the difference. And you know it. I mean, there's no question about it when you do that. But Stage 3, Dude, it's like taking a 4-cylinder out of your grandpa's Camry and dropping in a freaking 400 cubic inch Ram Air 4 motor from a 70 GTO into this bad boy. I mean, I was really impressed. Now the downside. The factory ECU, it kind of sucks. The lower end throttle was jerky and terribly unmanageable, which did make it a little fun, but to be honest, the low end torque rolled off way too soon. So, you know, it was kind of some trade-offs, but the factory tune is terrible. Now that could all have something to do with my exhaust, but I doubt it really. Now, I've not had the opportunity to get the bike on a dyno for a full and proper tune yet. Despite multiple attempts, I've been about as lucky as Ernest Borgnine with a cold sore and a kissing boot. And I can't find anybody in Central Florida to tune my bike, and it's driving me crazy. So I had to break down and do something to get the tune fixed up. So I got with Ryan at RVS Performance. I think I can stick a link right up here. And I bought a remote tune from him. His tunes are not like a typical DynoJet tune, which I asked him about that. I was like, hey, you know, I can get a tune from DynoJet and just plug that in. But his tunes are tunes that he's actually done himself, and he gets all the info from you about what you got on your bike, and he gives you what he thinks is going to be the best tune. And he's tuned hundreds of bikes, probably thousands of bikes, so he has a pretty good idea what you need. Now, loading the tune into the bike was a piece of cake, and once I got on the bike, I could tell instantly it was running smoother. It didn't have any flat spots or dips, and it's a big but. The tune actually tamed the 116 a little bit. It actually rolled some of the torque back and some of the horsepower. Is it a drawback? I don't know. It actually quieted the motor down a bit, and it seems to be running a bit cooler, so I'm sure he's got it running a little bit richer than what it was with the factory tune, but it still needs to get on a dyno yet. And because of that, I also don't have any dyno numbers yet. I know, trust me, I need to go up to Charlotte or Coastal or whatever it is to get a tune, but nobody here in Central Florida can tune the bike. You know, we're in the middle of this COVID crap, and tuning shops have gone out of business, and there's a couple that are left, but they're only familiar with Harleys, and it's been a nightmare, honestly. I've literally been trying to get my bike tuned for over a month now, and I can't find anybody to do it. All right, so I'm gonna kind of change this up a little bit because I had recorded a whole bunch of stuff, and some of it just didn't work out, whatever. I mean, I'm not a natural on camera. I try to be, but I'm not. Plus I had the neighbors walking down the road, and you know, their kids running around, so that kind of screwed everything up. So what I decided to do is just kind of tell you a little story about how the 116 kit has left a final impression on me. Last night we went up to Ace Cafe for a bike night, Barbara and I, and on her way there, her windshield stopped going up and down. We got caught in a terrible rain. This morning, she asked me to ride her bike up to the dealership, and she was going to meet me up there and pick me up and bring me back to the house. So I hopped on her bike, which is a fully stock 111, rode it up to the dealership, and I have to tell you, I have completely forgot about the power or lack thereof on a 111, and I am so completely spoiled now with the 116. There is literally no comparison between the original stock 111 and the 116, which I now have. I mean, it is night and day. I honestly felt, as I was on I-4, which is an interstate here in Orlando, I felt like I was on a scooter. I really did. I mean, you know, her handlebars are down low, and I'm just kind of tooling along. And there was virtually no power. I felt like I couldn't get out of my way. But the reality is that when I bought that bike, it felt like it had plenty of power, and there was nothing I really needed to do to make it any better than it was. And of course, you know, you go to stage 1 and stage 2. Woohoo! The cams are friggin' awesome. And now that I have the 116 kit and I realize the full potential, comparing it to the 111, it is night and day. The power difference is unmistakable, and it's almost monumental in the amount of increase that you get between the two. I cannot overstate it. I don't even have a great tune like I just discussed a minute ago, right? I just have a good tune. The engine's running great. It's smooth. It's powerful. Like I said, it almost feels detuned a little bit from what it was with the factory map, but the power is still enormous. I am blown away by what that motor is capable of with the 116 kit. If you have the money, I highly recommend it. I know it's, roughly around $4,000. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody can look it up and see what it costs. The kit is like $27.99 full dealer retail. And depending on where you live and what your shop rates are, I hear everything from 10 to 12 hours. And some shop rates are as low as 80 or 90 bucks an hour and as high as 150 an hour. It's 120 here, Indian of Seminole County. And you've got a certified tech installing it, and it's being done properly, and it's warranted and everything. So I'm kind of alluding back to the Lloyd's kits and how those are different. I don't know what they cost. I know they're a little cheaper to buy the parts, but then you have to get a bunch of machine work done. Anyway, regardless, doesn't matter. You are never going to be disappointed with a 116 kit. I can't rave enough about what you get for your money out of that. If you look at it, a dollar per horsepower value ratio comparison between that and the cams, I'd say it's equal or better to what you get with the Stage 2 cam system. And the Stage 2 cams, I find, was an amazing value, because the Stage 1, it's pretty expensive to do intake and exhaust. I guess it's like a $1,500 value or something like that to buy those parts and put them on. And you really get a very small boost in performance. Stage 2 cams, it's about $1,000, right? And you get a huge boost in performance, way better than a Stage 1. But if you do the Stage 3, the boost in performance is exponentially larger. It really is. It feels like, I don't know if it makes sense, but like you did 3 cam kits. You know what I mean? I mean, like, it's that much of a power boost. There are some disadvantages to the 116, and I do want to be clear about that. Number one is, even though the throttle is much better, it's still kind of jerky at low RPMs. You feel it. It bumps you back and forth. It's okay. You get used to it. It's not a big deal. It's just a touchy throttle. That's all. One of the other things you're going to notice is the amount of heat output from the motor, right? Most of us, by the time that if you think you're going to do a Stage 3 kit, you've probably got a full exhaust system. You've got true duals or something, whatever. You've eliminated the cat. So what I can tell you is that when you go to the 116, it produces, now this is going to sound interesting to you and maybe think Brian's a little bit of crazy. It produces more heat, okay? Now, I want you to contrast that to higher heat. So today when I was riding Barbara's bike, the temperature, hers is not decatted, the temperature of her cat was higher, okay? So like I could feel the heat. I ride with shorts on a lot because we're in Florida here. Today I was riding with shorts, and the temperature coming off the bike was pretty high. It reminded me about that too. But the 116 kit is not as hot, but it seems to put out, this is my impression, a greater volume of heat, right? So I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it, but it is hotter than a decatted 111, but it is not as hot as a 111 with a cat, temperature-wise. But when it is putting out heat, you feel a greater volume of heat. Maybe it's that I felt it more around the entire cylinder, right, on both sides, whereas with the cat you only feel it on one side really so much. The rear cylinder head does get a little bit hotter because the cat's withholding that heat, but I felt like with the 116 there's more heat being put out. Now again, it's not as hot as the 111 being with the cat, but anyway, I think you get it. I don't have to go on and on and on about that. So that's something else to consider. I really can't give you any more drawbacks, except that it's a lot easier to spin the tires on wet pavement. I have an 18, so I don't have the different ride modes. I'm stuck with one ride mode, which is Brian ride mode, which is typically pretty fast. I can't detune it, so to speak, with a rain mode or something like that, or standard mode. It's or touring mode, I guess, is what you would use in the rain. So if you're sitting on paint and you take off from the light and it's wet out, which I got soaked last night coming home from bike night. Man, the tires, it was difficult to control a couple times, but I was able to control it. But you know, you kind of just get a little surprised. Oh, there goes the rear end. So it's torquey, it's punchy. I mean, the power is there. Now that we've gone through all that, I did take some video of me riding the bike after we had the 116 done. And let me tell you, speaking of spinning the rear tires, if you want to spin the rear tires, you can. And I want you to watch this full-on, full throttle shot that I took from a red light. And man, I just nailed it. I gave it all that I could. And I want you to look at my 0 to 80 mile per hour time. 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and that's going back and forth here on my timeline. I can get exactly, you know, watching the speedometer. So 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, and it was about maybe another 1.5 seconds up to 80 miles an hour. Watch this. That's pretty awesome. Let me tell you, that shocked me. That was the first time I did it, by the way, and I did it with the camera on there. And man, it lit up the tires, and they even chirped in second gear. It was pretty amazing. I want you to look here. I'm taking some screenshots, and I'm going to show you. Here I am at max RPM in first gear, and the speed. Max RPM in second gear and the speed. And then in third gear, here I hit like 80 miles per hour or something like that. That's pretty damn impressive. Something else I want to tell you about. One of the great positives of the 116 kit is, to me, it feels like you're getting another gear in your gearbox. Let's say you're getting on the highway and you know you're going through your gears, and you know you get up, you're running through fifth gear, right? Normally you upshift at 60 or something like that into sixth gear, and then you just start cruising, right? 70 miles per hour or whatever. So I got on the highway and I'm cruising along at 70 miles per hour, and you know you can feel the bike, you know when you need to upshift. Well, I look down and I'm in fifth gear and I'm going 70, and it doesn't feel like I need to upshift at all. So I go into sixth gear and man, it just takes off. It feels like you have another gear because you can downshift from sixth gear at 70 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour into fifth gear for passing or whatever. As a matter of fact, I did a roll-on video at sixth gear at 70 miles per hour just to show you how much torque there is. Now I could have downshifted, I didn't in this video, but check this out. So the power was huge. I mean, in a matter of 3.5 seconds or so, you go from 70 to almost 90 miles per hour. So, you know, jumping from 70 to 80, right? You got to pass a truck or something. It's 1.5 seconds, and that was just a slight roll on of the throttle. That's not really like jumping on it or anything. You only need to pull the throttle back just a hair just to get some increase in power. Man, when we were up in Gatlinburg, rolling through the hills and the mountains up there, that 116 is unstoppable uphill in just about any gear. I can't say enough about the bottom end torque that's in there, and that was before I got it tuned. That was with the factory ECU map that I had in there. Again, that's just a great testimonial, I think, to what's possible with this motor. I can't wait to get it tuned, and I guess, you know, that's probably pretty much it. I think I've about covered everything that I wanted to cover with you guys on this motor. Highly recommend it. So if you're thinking about it, don't wait. Get it. Go search through your couch cushions, push the seat back in your truck and see if you can dig out some quarters underneath there. Just do whatever you can. If it's within your realm of possibility, don't put it on a credit card. And get this on your bike because you will not regret it. Hey guys, before we get to the riding with the 116, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. We've got other reviews and great riding content that I know you guys are going to enjoy. Also, we're on Instagram and on Facebook at Ride with Two Indians. Also, we just got these awesome shirts in. Check that out. Ta-da! That's our ladies t-shirt. And we've got a men's t-shirt which has the logo on the front. Ride with Two Indians. Take the adventure. And then we've got the big logo on the back. Plus we've got that new full color one. We are going to print that shirt. It is going to come soon. But it probably won't be another month or two or something. Mama says I got to sell through these before we get the other shirts first. Send me a message or whatever. Find us on Facebook or on Instagram. And we'll make sure you get a shirt. It's not to make money. It's just to give you guys something cool. We got hats too, by the way. I think we're still selling those. I think they're 19 bucks or something like that. Here's some more riding video. Have fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you all. Two Indians, almost out.